let's go to college football week 6. So back to Ethan now. What game are you going to have your eyes on this week?
Well,
I know it's a lot of soups and playoff baseball, but if you have a little bit of time to watch some college football, what are you watching?
it's the Big Ten, but it's not Minneapolis. It's down in Columbus, Ohio State, Maryland. I think this could be a pretty sneaky good game. Obviously, Ohio State's proven themselves down at Notre Dame. They come out, win at the last second. But I think Maryland's a team people might be sleeping on. They've done this a couple times. They're good in the early going, everything. They beat some cupcakes, and then they just get rolled in the Big Ten. I'm not sure that's going to happen this year. They've beaten 3 Power 5 teams already. The most points they've given up are 17. So, like, they're a good team that has actually a decent defense. Maybe this is the year they actually put it together. I don't think they can really do anything better than 4th in the East. But you put them in the West, and I mean, they might.
They're winning it
right now. Yeah.
And then Mike Locksley is still looking for that. Mike Locksley is still looking for that signature win, and this is about as good of an opportunity as he's going to have, because when he's faced those blue bloods of the East, the Michigan, the Ohio States, the Penn States, those games have not been particularly close. Last year against Michigan, it was only a 7-point game, but Maryland got a late score to make that most of that second half. It was a 2-score game, and then Maryland got a late score to make it a 1-possession game. But Talia Tagovailoa, we're gonna see Maryland coming into the year had to replace 4 offensive linemen. They're gonna get a tremendous test in JT Tuamalu.
They're used to saying that name. That's a first-round pick right there.
Yep. Future first-round pick for the from Ohio State. Couple of another guy, I can't think of the guy's name, but they're going to be tested. They've got some good receivers. But yeah, definitely that was a game for sure, Ethan, that I had written down as a game of the week. It's the big noon kickoff game as well.
That is.
Yeah.
So, for my game here, boys, it's a little under the radar, I think, nationally, but we got the Battle of the Tigers in Columbia, Missouri. LSU goes up to Missouri, and this Missouri team, they're 5-0. They're kind of a sneaky team. They're scoring a lot of points. Their quarterback, I want to say it's Brian Cook. It's B. Cook. Burton III, their true sophomore 5-star receiver. They're putting up a lot of points. They're in Columbia. And then also, how does LSU respond after that tough loss at Ole Miss last year? They got to play on the road again against an upstart team that almost beat Georgia last year. They should have beat Auburn. It kind of looks like this Missouri team is slowly kind of coming together where they're going to be able to compete in the SEC, and they can put up some good points. And I want to see if Brian Kelly and his staff can coach up these players and fix the mistakes they made last week. Because LSU, their defense was horrible. This Missouri team can score points. And if they don't get this figured out and Missouri gets a win, they're 6-0. That's the signature win for their head coach. Is it Dirk? Eli
Drinkwitz.
Eli Drinkwitz. And Brian Kelly's 3-3, and his defense is bottom 3rd in college football. So big game for both teams, and I'm kind of excited to see how this one plays out.
With those athletes at LSU to be bottom 3rd in defense is absolutely pathetic.
They've got one of the best defensive players in the country. They still can't figure out how to use him.
The fact that they're having him playing off-ball linebacker is absolutely ridiculous. Last year as a freshman,
play a lot right there.
When he was a freshman, they said, get after the quarterback. The guy, number 7, throwing the football, tackle him. And he wasn't a freshman All-American. He looked like the greatest player in the world, and now they're having him play off-ball linebacker. It's unacceptable, like Ethan said. And their defensive coordinator coached in the NFL for a while. So he should be this elite football mind, but they can't put it together. So, yeah, LSU, Missouri, my game of the week.
Okay, and Grant, you must be just in a very, very giving mood, because I had multiple situations here where I thought for sure you were going to steal my thunder and take my top games that I had, but you didn't.
So
You didn't with the.
I thought about it with the game I think you're going to pick, but I talked about that team earlier, and I talked enough about one team from one state early today. I figured I'd be maybe a little biased towards one state if I picked this team.
So, okay, well, yes. So I'm going down to the Red River rivalry, Texas, Oklahoma, and this game's going to be played at high noon on ABC, and both teams are undefeated. The first time since I believe it was 2008. The last time these two teams played undefeated. Yep. Colt McCoy, Sam Bradford game, which was an incredible game. I believe Oklahoma was leading at half, and then Texas ended up winning, got control, and kind of dominated the second half. And but then Oklahoma ended up playing for the national title that year because Texas lost to Texas Tech. Oklahoma had the lost Texas BCS rankings. Oklahoma was higher than Texas, and that's how you get that.
You know what? It wouldn't have mattered anyway. None of those teams were beating Florida.
Yeah, that is very true. And this is a game. This is kind of, well, it wasn't where you saw Brett Venables, the Oklahoma season go downhill, because it was going downhill before that, and Texas just made it even worse. They lost to Kansas State, and then TCU. They lost another.
They lost to TCU.
Yeah.
This is where it really imploded.
Yep, and we've talked about how Texas right now looks like the best team in the country. Got one of the best wins of the season between. It's probably 1A, 1B between Texas beating Alabama in Tuscaloosa and Ohio State beating Notre Dame in South Bend. Texas, I think, is going to this game is. I don't think Oklahoma is good enough in the trenches. I don't trust Dylan Gabriel, even though he has looked good, but they struggled on the road against Cincinnati, a team that they should have won by. If we're going by talent, should have won by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Texas dominates the trenches on both sides of the ball, and I think Oklahoma is overrated, and I think Texas stomps them. Let me see here what the spread is for this game, and because it's Texas 6.5. Texas is going to win by more than 6.5 points. It's going to get ugly. And it could get ugly fast. Unless Texas resorts back into the old Texas where they are sloppy, they come out flat, and have a couple of turnovers, which gives Oklahoma some short fields where they are very capable of capitalizing. But right now, from what I've seen, Texas, they're not going to come out flat against their most hated rival. They want that. Well, they want to keep that golden cowboy hat in Texas, and I think Texas stomps them.
And last Big 12 Red River rivalry as members of the Big 12 conference.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
Next year, this game jumps over to the SEC.
That is correct.
Cool.